Welcome back to the channel. This is universal insight on the latest news from around the world. Imagine this scenario. You're soaring thousands of feet above the ground, the world a patchwork quilt far below. You're settling in for a routine flight from the vibrant city of Portland, Oregon, heading south to sunny Ontario, California. The anticipation of arrival hangs in the air. The dazzling city lights of Portland begin to fade into the distance, twinkling like fallen stars. You recline your seat, ready to relax and perhaps even catch some sleep. Suddenly, without warning, a terrifying, deafening explosion rips through the seemingly secure cabin. The sound is unlike anything you've ever experienced. A rush of icy wind howls through the aircraft. Oxygen masks automatically deploy from the overhead compartments. And utter chaos erupts around you. Passengers scream in fear and confusion. Where a solid wall and a window once provided a sense of security, there's now a gaping, jagged hole exposing you to the freezing, unforgiving night sky. The stars seem impossibly close. This was the horrifying reality faced by 171 terrified passengers and 6 dedicated crew members aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 on the evening of January 5, 2024. A seemingly flawless, brand-new Boeing 737 MAX 9 suddenly and inexplicably lost a critical door plug while cruising at altitude. The decompression was instantaneous and violent. Cell phones, personal belongings, and even a teenager's shirt were violently sucked out into the night. The highly trained crew, facing an unimaginable crisis, fought valiantly to maintain control of the aircraft, as panicked passengers desperately scrambled for the life-saving oxygen masks. The quick-thinking pilots immediately initiated an emergency descent, swiftly turning the aircraft back towards Portland. The brave flight attendants moved methodically through the chaos-filled cabin, securing terrified passengers, offering what comfort they could, and providing crucial reassurance in the face of sheer terror. 20 agonizing minutes later, the crippled plane touched down safely on the runway. For every single person on board, it was an incredibly close brush with utter disaster, a harrowing experience they would undoubtedly never forget. They had stared directly into the void of the night sky, and against all odds, they had survived to tell the tale. In the wake of the Alaska Airlines incident, a wave of rumors and speculation began to spread rapidly online. False claims like, "all U.S. airports are shutting down," started circulating, causing unnecessary panic and confusion among travelers. However, the reality was far more targeted and specific. Only Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft equipped with the particular faulty door plug were grounded temporarily for an urgent and thorough inspection to ensure passenger safety. The FAA's action was a carefully considered and targeted response, not a blanket nationwide shutdown of air travel. As a result of the grounding, Alaska Airlines was compelled to cancel hundreds of flights to accommodate the inspection schedule, and similarly, United Airlines also canceled hundreds of flights as they worked to inspect their affected aircraft. Despite these cancellations, the vast majority of air travel continued to operate as normal across the country. The FAA's Emergency Airworthiness Directive is best understood as being similar to a car recall, not closing all highways but rather, focusing on fixing a specific model with a known issue. The ultimate goal of this directive was to prevent another potential disaster by meticulously checking every similar plane in operation. The overwhelming majority of other aircraft models kept flying without interruption, and airports across the nation remained open and operational. The incident and the subsequent confusion highlighted just how easily misinformation can spread, especially during times of crisis and uncertainty. The truth of the matter is that it was a precise and carefully executed safety precaution, not a sign of widespread chaos or systemic failure. To understand what happened on Flight 1282, we need to go back to where it all began. The real story began on the factory floor. The component at the heart of the incident was a door plug. This isn't just any ordinary panel, it's meant to seal an unused emergency exit. On certain configurations of the 737 MAX, where fewer emergency exits are required due to seating capacity, these plugs are installed. It's secured in place by 4 crucial bolts, designed to bear the brunt of the pressure. However, the investigation revealed a shocking oversight. On Flight 1282, those bolts were missing entirely. As the plane climbed, and the cabin altitude increased, pressure built against the door plug. With nothing holding it securely in place, the plug blew out with tremendous force. The sudden expulsion left a gaping hole in the fuselage, The result was explosive decompression. A violent rush of air swept through the cabin, and panic erupted among the passengers. In the cockpit, pilots were immediately alerted by alarms. They quickly donned their oxygen masks and initiated an emergency dive to a safer, lower altitude where the air was breathable. Passengers and crew, despite the chaos, calmly followed emergency procedures, helping and reassuring each other amidst the terrifying ordeal. The flight crew managed to regain control and turn the plane around, heading back to Portland. The pilots executed a safe landing with only minor injuries reported among those on board. This wasn't the result of sabotage or some inexplicable mystery. It was a catastrophic manufacturing error, a failure in quality control. The missing bolts pointed straight back to a critical lapse on Boeing's assembly line, raising serious questions about their manufacturing processes. The NTSB's investigation revealed a shocking truth. The 4 bolts were never installed after factory repairs. The work wasn't documented. No inspection, no verification. This wasn't a one-off mistake, but a symptom of deeper problems at Boeing. Procedures were bypassed and oversight was lax. The FAA, supposed to oversee Boeing, had delegated too much to the company itself. Years of weak audits let dangerous shortcuts become routine. Factory workers felt pressured to rush, sometimes at the expense of safety. The Alaska Airlines incident exposed a broken safety culture and a failure of checks and balances. It was a warning. The system meant to keep planes safe had failed. The fallout was swift. The NTSB demanded sweeping changes. Boeing was forced to overhaul its quality control, slow production, and add rigorous inspections. Leadership changed, and the company pledged to put safety first. The FAA increased its presence on factory floors and capped Boeing's 737 MAX output. All manufacturers must now implement safety management systems, proactively identifying and fixing risks. The FAA shifted from trust to direct oversight and accountability. Every critical step must be documented and verified. The goal: catch problems before they reach the runway. These reforms are reshaping how planes are built and certified. Safety is now the top priority, not just a slogan. Flight 1282 was a wake-up call for the entire aviation industry. It exposed how human error and weak oversight can create real danger, even in a highly regulated field. The reforms now underway are real: more inspections, slower production, and a culture shift toward safety. When you board a plane, you trust a chain of people and systems. That chain is being strengthened. Misinformation, like airport shutdown rumors, only fuels fear. The truth is the best antidote. Air travel remains incredibly safe because failures are investigated and fixed. The lessons from Flight 1282 are making flying safer for everyone. Safety isn't a destination, it's a journey, and the industry is moving forward.